Tonight, investigators have a security guard in custody accused of killing the man who was hired to replace him.
Did you know today is somewhat of a holiday? Coming up, I'll tell you why so many people are swarming small businesses.
And the end of an era for the University of Houston. You miss a little, you miss a lot. Fox 26 News at 9 starts right now. And first, a developing story tonight. A fired security guard is jailed, accused of killing the guy who replaced him. I'm Ned Hibberd. Rita is off tonight. The shooting happened at a taqueria on Veterans Memorial near West Road this afternoon. Harris County Sheriff's investigators tell us the shooter was a commissioned security guard who was let go several weeks ago, but continued to show up to work in his uniform. That security guard died at the scene. The fired guard stayed around until deputies arrived and arrested him. The names of both men have not been released. A barbecue benefit today to help bury a man who died at the hands of a hit-and-run driver in South Houston.
Hey, Edward, Ray said 4, right?
Yeah. Assistance comes one plate at a time.
We're all here for a good cause.
For the family of Oscar Gonzalez, the 61-year-old was killed in the crosswalk 1 week ago by a red or maroon-colored Ford Contour, whose driver kept on going. And if you happen to have those answers, check in with detectives at the City of South Houston Police Department. Turning to the economy now, today was Small Business Saturday. So which mom and pop store got your support? Fox 26's Dominique Keith explains how helping locally owned companies can also benefit you.
Yeah, you know, bigger isn't always better.
And just like you, Dominique, because I know you bought me a little something, the First family did their part to support small businesses today as well. President Obama and his 2 daughters did a little Christmas shopping at a local bookstore in Arlington, Virginia. The president sifted through the shelves, greeted employees, and then, yep, he bought several books. Wonder what he's reading these days. Mr. Obama also shook hands and wished the crowds outside the store a very happy holiday season. Several small businesses are also hoping you will support Houston's Hungry this weekend by giving to the local food bank. Dubbed the Movable Feast, 6 food trucks parked along Westheimer at Mandel today. The Rice Box, the Waffle Bus, and others collected canned goods to donate to the Houston Food Bank. Well, the Houston Cougars have played and won their very last game at Robertson Stadium. The Cougs took on Tulane University in front of their home crowd today. Hey, they emerged victorious 40-17. Now, after 7 decades, the field will be ripped up, the stadium torn down, and turned into a new state-of-the-art gridiron. Fans say they are ready for the change.
We're ready for it to go, just because, you know, we need something new.
And the first home football game set to kick off next season in 2014. Well, today's Cougars game had a special meaning for one player. Keith Calkins is here now with that part of the story. Keith?
Kind of a welcome back as well as a so long. You know, the matchup itself today really didn't mean anything. U of H and Tulane both closing out terrible seasons. And you can look for Calkins, Fox 26. We're back in about 45 minutes.
And without a doubt, Keith, today was football weather, sunny and cool, beautiful weather out there. The question is, can Sunday pick up where Saturday left off? Meteorologist John Dawson here with the answer, JD.
Well, I'll tell you, Ned, I'll start with tonight, and that means a chance for some rain and some more cooler temperatures. I'll show you all that coming up in the 7-day forecast.
6 weeks and counting before the country falls off the so-called fiscal cliff. Coming up, are Congress and the White House any closer to preventing automatic tax increases? Also, he has a need for speed.
I love drag racing. I love the fast cars. I love the power.
So why is this local man driving an electric car? And fans remember the man who played one of the most famous TV villains of all time. Congress and the White House have about 6 weeks to solve the looming fiscal cliff issue. If not, taxes on almost every American will increase, and economists warn of a recession. Fox's Steve Centani has an update.
Lawmakers must also tackle the national debt ceiling, which may reach its limit by February, or the U.S. could risk default. In Washington, Steve Centani, Fox News.
Monitoring their money convinced a Cyprus couple to make big changes in their garage. In fact, one thing you need to know about John Wood is that he is a gearhead. But John does admit missing the throaty roar of a gas guzzler.
Getting back and forth to work, this is great. But on the weekends, yeah, I want to have my 500 horsepower.
It's not for everybody, but what about you? Could you trade the pump for the plug? Follow me on Twitter @Ned Hibberd and sound off on the subject. And coming up, building inspectors are checking out dozens of homes and businesses gutted by an explosion. What caused the blast and how many buildings are now unusable. Plus, an iconic TV star remembered. Fans visit a Texas landmark made famous by Larry Hagman. Three people are seriously injured in a fire that broke out at the State Department headquarters in Washington this morning. Investigators say the blaze started in the ductwork on the 7th floor where crews were working on the building. They were able to extinguish it before firefighters arrived. All three victims were burned, with one suffering life-threatening injuries. A natural gas explosion in Massachusetts injured 18 people and damaged more than 40 buildings last night. Look at that. Many of the injured were emergency workers. The area of Springfield tonight looks like a war zone. The blast happened as gas crews were already on scene investigating a possible leak. 3 buildings there have already been condemned. Actor Larry Hagman has died at the age of 81. Fans began dropping off flowers today at Hagman's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The actor's greatest role, perhaps? J.R. Ewing in the 1980s television drama Dallas.
Because everybody knows about Dallas.
So I guess it's fitting Hagman died in Dallas yesterday. He had been battling cancer. So today, hundreds of fans paid tribute by visiting the South Fork Ranch in Parker, Texas. The real-life ranch was used in the TV show to portray J.R. Ewing's opulent home. Now, the ranch has been open for tours since 1985. It attracts about 100,000 fans every year. Former world boxing champion Hector Macho Camacho has died 4 days after being shot in the head in his home country of Puerto Rico. Doctors say Camacho went into cardiac arrest this morning and was taken off life support. He was declared brain dead after being shot while sitting in a car. A friend of Camacho's was killed in the same shooting. Macho Camacho was 50 years old. And still ahead, it is a busy weekend in the stores. Mother Nature has cooperated for the most part. How will the rest of the holiday weekend shape up? John Dawson coming up next with your Fox Red forecast. Well, if you did not get outside today, you missed out. But maybe you'll get a do-over. Meteorologist John Dawson is now here with the Fox Rad forecast.
You know, I had a few people say it was a little chilly today across the area. And for those folks, I've got good news because tomorrow's going to be a lot like today, but slightly warmer. And on Facebook, just search for Meteorologist John Dawson or Meteorologist JD. And you can also sign up for the Sunday night social media shout-out where I show one of our Facebook folks tomorrow night.
Be sure to hit like over and over.
Right, exactly.
Thanks for keeping the nice through the end of the holiday weekend.
We do what we can.
We appreciate that.
Sure.
Coming up, an unlikely group of ladies become pinball wizards. We will take you along as the group known as the Red Hat Ladies learns about flippers, bumpers, and avoiding the tilt. You know, it's pretty rare these days to spot a pinball machine, but a local museum has an entire building full of them. Fox 26 photojournalist Michael Foster took a tour with the Red Hat Ladies. Coming up, it's hard for civilians to understand, but if you ask many wounded combat veterans what they miss the most, they will tell you it's the battlefield. Coming up in Lone Star Spirit, how technology is helping wounded warriors feel like they're part of a team again. In world news tonight, the #2 man of Gaza's ruling Hamas says the group will not stop arming itself. That suggests talks for a border deal will be even more difficult. A ceasefire between Hamas and Israel is now in its 3rd day. The quiet comes after 8 violent days during which Israel carried out 1,500 airstrikes against Hamas targets in Gaza, and militants fired almost as many rockets into Israel. While severely wounded troops can never return to the fight, new technology is now helping them regain that feeling of being part of a team. In tonight's Lone Star Spirit, Fox 26's Don Teague introduces us to a young man who is doing just that.
A raging war in Cyprus.
We're looking for stories of people with the Lone Star Spirit. If you know of someone who's beaten big odds, we'd love to hear from you. You can contact Don directly on Facebook or Twitter.
It's a call for marriage, believe it or not. U of H senior Dominic Miller closes out his career his own kind of way, proposing in traditional style, less traditional setting before kickoff. And obviously Miller gets the one-word answer that he was expecting. Congratulations there. Congratulations to your Rice Owls.
Well, thank you very much. Was there a dance in the end zone after that?
Not that I could tell.
Yeah. Well, he's getting a good start on the game of life, I'll tell you what.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Keith.
You got it.
Still to come, how cool will it get tonight, and will we start next week with rain? John Dawson coming up with the Fox Red forecast.